Walking Back in Time by Ngamoko Nikora. Chapter 1. The Mysterious Portal. Tom, Mark and Teepaw were best friends who spent their summer days exploring the woods behind their neighbourhood. One sunny afternoon, while wandering deeper than ever before, they stumbled upon an ancient oak tree. Its gnarled roots twisted into the earth, and its bark was rough and darkened with age. "What do you think is in there?" Mark asked, peering closely at a hollow at the base of the tree. "Maybe treasure," Teepaw said, his wide eyes sparkling with excitement. "Or a secret passage," Tom added, his imagination running wild. With a collective nod, they decided to investigate. As they leaned into the hollow, they felt a strange breeze swirl around them, and the world blurred into a whirl of colours. They grasped each other's hands tightly, but before they knew it, everything went dark. Chapter 2. Tudor England. When the boys finally opened their eyes, they were no longer in their beloved woods. Instead, they stood in a bustling market square filled with the sights and sounds of Tudor England. Market stalls displayed vibrant fabrics, fresh produce, and fragrant baked goods, while people dressed in an array of colourful garb hurried past. "Where are we?" Mark asked, bewildered. "Looks like Tudor England," Tom guessed, glancing at a nearby sign that read, "Welcome to Henley-on-Thames." Before they could process what was happening, a gruff voice interrupted them. "What are you boys doing in such strange attire?" A burly man with a bushy beard crossed his arms, scrutinizing them. We lost our way," Mark stammered, trying to sound convincing. The man's gaze softened. "You seem out of place, lads. Come, I'll point you toward the tavern, where you can rest and gather your thoughts." Chapter 3. The Tavern Tales. The tavern was lively, filled with laughter and food. As they settled at a wooden table, the boys couldn't help but gawk at the people around them. Jesters entertaining the crowd, musicians playing lively tunes, and locals sharing stories. "What if we're stuck here forever?" Teepaw whispered, fear creeping into his voice. "We'll figure it out," Tom reassured him. "Let's just enjoy this incredible adventure." Their good spirits returned as they enjoyed mugs of warm cider, and the tavern owner, a kind woman named Agnes, regaled them with tales of King Henry VIII and his court. The boys shared stories of their own lives, adjusting to the strange customs of the time. "I wish I could see the King's court," Mark mused, his eyes glimmering with ambition. "Well, it's not too far from here," Agnes said, her brow furrowing in thought. "Be careful, though. The King is known for his temper. You'd need to look the part to gain entry." With newfound determination, the boys decided they would try to see the court. They spent the next day exploring the town, gathering information and clothes that would help them blend in. Chapter 4. The Grand Court. The following morning, the boys set out to the Grand Palace, dressed in borrowed clothing. As they approached the magnificent building, They marvelled at its towering spires and colourful banners flapping in the wind. "Here goes nothing," Tom said, taking a deep breath. With a gentle push, they stepped into the palace courtyard, their hearts racing. They soon became lost among the throngs of courtiers, but Tom's eyes lit up when he spotted the infamous Henry VIII himself, pacing with a group of advisers. "Let's get closer," he urged. They dodged between lavishly dressed nobles, trying to eavesdrop on conversations. Suddenly, the king turned sharply, his eyes locking onto them. "Who are those boys?" he boomed, his voice echoing through the courtyard. Terrified, the boys froze, awaiting their fate. But Agnes's early advice echoed in Tom's mind. Stepping forward, he cleared his throat. "We are travellers from distant lands, your majesty. We seek knowledge of your magnificent reign." Henry raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Is that so? Then why do you not speak like men of my court?" Chapter 5. The Test of Wit. Quick on his feet, Tom suggested, "Perhaps we could show you the tales of our homeland in exchange for a glimpse into your world, sire." "What a curious idea!" Henry exclaimed, a grin forming on his face. "Very well, you shall entertain me. If you impress me, I may just let you leave unharmed." The boys exchanged nervous glances, but realizing they had little other choice, they nodded. They shared playful stories of their modern inventions, flying machines, robots, and even mentioning pizza, which baffled the king. The banquet hall erupted in laughter and applause. Henry, thoroughly entertained, decided to let them stay a while. Chapter 6. The Return Home. Days turned into weeks, and the boys found themselves captivated by life in Tudor England. They assisted in the court's daily activities, learning to joust and even partaking in a royal feast. But soon they began to long for home. One evening, while discussing their feelings by the oak tree where it all began, Teeple suddenly spotted a faint shimmer in the air. "Look! What is that?" he asked, pointing. Tom approached the glow curiously. "I think it's a portal back home." "Let's go!" Mark exclaimed, his voice racing with excitement. Taking hands once again, they stepped into the shimmering light, and before they could utter another word, everything blurred around them once more. Chapter 7. Back to the Present. With a sudden jolt, the boys landed back at the base of their familiar oak tree. Sunlight filtered through the leaves just as it had on the day they left. "Did that really happen?" Teeple asked, eyes wide with disbelief. "I think it did," Tom chuckled. "What an adventure we had." Mark beamed. "We should write it down. Who would believe us otherwise?" "Sure," Teeple replied, smirking. "But what will we tell them about pizza?" As they walked home, laughter filled the air. The boys knew that they had not only travelled back in time, but had forged memories that would last a lifetime. They were unified by their incredible adventure, forever friends who stepped beyond the ordinary. And that, they thought, was a story worth sharing. Walking Back in Time by Ngamoko Nikora. Copyrighted by Ngamoko Nikora. No production or reproduction of this story shall be completed or done without the express permission of the author.